Just us. I can never say, yeah, too much, too much.
Too much media.
Okay, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is a creative mastery channel. We can talk all things creativity, how to improve yourself in order to get your creativity at its highest peak. If you're returning, I fought with you. Thank you for coming back. Regardless of if you're new or not, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff and engage with my channel so YouTube knows that people are actually here and watching and listening to me. So today I want to continue our Pick Me series. We've been getting into the Pick Me Olympics and the rankings of being a Pick Me and the types of Pick Me's, because I've noticed that on the internet lately, the biggest conversation for us on the women's side of things in women's sphere is talking about decentering men. Now, I think that this is a good topic just because women are so quick to not center themselves, and therefore they will go to centering others. And because they like to center others, a big percentage of women do center men in order to and center an other, because the quickest way to center other if you're a woman is to center men, and because men is what you need in order to make children, and then children come and they're both genders, and then you get to center the children, or like just anything outside of yourself. Centering men allows us to procreate, which allows us to center outside of ourselves. So I think that's the main reason why women are so male-centered. It's just like any excuse to center other, and the quickest way to center other is to center men so you can increase the population, and then now you just worried about everybody but yourself. Like, worry about you, Booski. But like, I think that's like why women maybe like on a subconscious level are so obsessed with men. But as I've noticed this decentering men epidemic, I also want to talk about the harmful underlying topics of decentering men that I don't see a lot of people talking about, and that I know that if you skip is going to be more harmful to our community than helpful. Because the thing about people is people are slow. People really are rubbing two IQs together. People are really struggling to critically think. People cannot connect the dots. Remember that little game that you used to play when you were a kid, where it's a piece of paper and all the dots have a number on them, and then you just got to go in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 until you get to the last one, and then you have a full complete picture? Yeah, y'all motherfuckers never can find the numbers correctly. Y'all, if I gave that paper to a majority of people, they would never be able to have a full picture. Getting to the full picture of connecting dots is really a struggle for a lot of people. And I understand that. And so I just want to make sure that I'm breaking down these like conversations and topics in a way where we're not losing the plot. You know what I'm trying to say? Especially for those of us who are naturally decentering of men, so we don't think we have work to do. That's one thing I realized about myself, that I'm watching these decentering men type of content that keeps getting pushed out there, is I'm realizing that I always have naturally been someone who doesn't center men. Now, where that stems from, we're not about to do a whole psychoanalysis of me, but I don't know. If there was a percentage, because I do feel like decentering men is percentage based. This is a scale. You're on a sliding scale of how decentering of men you are or not, right? And I do feel as though, what's it called? On the scale of like being centered in men, I've always been on the very, very low end of the scale. Now, whether or not you are on the lower scale of decentering men, because we live in a patriarch, no matter where on the scale you are still on the scale. All of us are male centered. No matter what we do, we're all male centered because we live in a patriarchy society, and we all uphold it by living in it and doing things that help it and provide, an increase in it, no matter what. So it's like, to think that you are completely male decentered, you are more male decentered if you think that, because you don't think that the patriarch has an effect on you, and you're delusional if you think that. You are literally out of your mind if you don't think you are automatically programmed to be male centered. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm sorry. And the thing about it is, the scariest part is, it doesn't matter where you're from either. Like, there's no country in this world that is like void of this. I would say it's even worse and scarier in like freer countries, like, countries where you would think less male centered is like kind of worse in a way, because we're mind warped into thinking we're freer than other countries. We become easier to brainwash than the ones who understand that they're not completely free, and that they are stuck to structures and stuff like that. Like those like third world countries and stuff like that, at least they have an understanding of like why they're doing the things they're doing, of like the reason we listen to men is so we don't die, right? Whereas like in countries where it's third world, we're listening to men, but it's because we think it's our choice to listen to them. Do you see what I'm trying to say a little bit? Like, we're more warped than they are. Like, at least they understand. I wear this parta, what do you call the thing where it covers even every part of your face and it just leaves the eye slits? That thing, or like hijabs or whatever. We wear hijabs so the men don't kill us. Like, we do all these things because we literally know that they will literally murder and rape us in the streets if we do not. Whereas like in these countries where we're allowed to like wear our hair out, we're allowed to, like for example, sex positivity and all this kind of stuff. We think we're doing that because it's our right and it's our freedom to do it. Whereas like, no, bro, you're living in a patriarchy. So you're thinking that that's how you're going to gain your freedom, and you're stuck in this like stupid westernized feminism that isn't actually feminism. Like fucking as many niggas as you can find is not like freedom. Like, why? I think that the sex positivity movement was made by a man. Like, that has to be the only thing. Because I'm like, how do you guys get so warped into thinking that the more sex that you have is how you're gonna be more liberated? That's more slavery. Like, having to give up your body constantly so you feel good about yourself. Like, that, how does that make you feel good? I don't understand. Like, I think that stuff is, like, really, like, a warped thing that, like, somebody tricked a dumb woman into passing on. I blame Amber Rose, honestly. And I'm like, bro, Amber, like, let me not get into Amber Rose too much. But anyway, okay, so the thing I wanted to talk about as far as the decentering men movement is that I feel as though one of the things that is going to come of the decentering men movement is that women who are the most male-centered in the whole scale, like they're the top of the male-centered scale, are going to start noticing the trend of discussing decentering men, and they are going to start acting as though and spewing out the rhetoric and the verbiage of male decenteredness in order to keep being a part of the group. Because one of the most male-centered things that happens in society is following trends, okay? Trends is the hype of male-centeredness. Following trends of like, oh yeah, everyone, remember them red boots, like those big old red boots, like wearing that shit. Like, you male-centered if you wore those. I don't give a fuck what you say. And I'm talking about the men too, because the men are the main ones. And that's one of the main things I want to understand is men are male-centered. Men are more male-centered than women. Like, they are the most warped and male-centered than any woman I've ever met. Like, a woman will give up pussy because they're male-centered, but men will give up their identity. Like, men will give up their soul because they're male-centered. Like, they won't even have a brain because they're so male-centered. They will watch other men do the craziest things, and they're so male-centered that even when they know what is being done is wrong, they'll never say anything. Like, a woman will stand up for you before a man. Like, men are the most male-centered people on earth. This is why, as women, it's so vital to not be male-centered, because a man will give you up to whatever's going on so quick. So you want to be male-centered, but he's male-centered too. So the minute there's a problem between you and another man, that you gave up your self-centeredness in order to center a man, he's going to do it too because he's just like you. So that's what you need to understand. Men are more male-centered than women. That's what I'm trying to say is like the people who like follow trends and like are always obsessed with what the new trendy things are the most male-centered women out here. And so what's going to end up happening with this whole decentering men movement is the most male-centered pick-me-shas on earth are going to start realizing that women are on this trend of decentering men. They're going to learn the verbiage. They're going to understand what are the talking points, and they're just going to start spewing it in like a stupid fashion, in their own low IQ way of like taking the most basic concepts and not really breaking down what we really mean when we're talking about decentering men and the fact that that looks different for everybody. You know what I'm trying to say? They're going to start taking that and they're going to start acting like they're male-centered. And then the minute there's an opportunity to do something that sets us back 1,000 years, that's when they're going to strike. That's when they're going to leave us in the dust. And if we're stupid enough to let male-centered women trick us into thinking that they are decentering men too, this is like, you're going to be lost in the wind. You know what I'm trying to say? So because I understand that, I also understand that the talking points of decentering men are not as simple as what you think. It's not as simple as just saying like, fuck all men and like, we're not even listening to men anymore and this, that, and the third. Because there are certain men out there that you should probably be listening to more than a woman who is telling you that she's decentering men. Being decentering men doesn't mean no men you can't hear from them or see them or da-da-da-da-da. Decentering men means understanding the ideology that keeps us in this patriarch and keeps us like going down a path of following a man who will leave you in a ditch. Okay? So like that's what really decentering men is about, because there are certain men who have decentered men as well in their life that I would listen to before I would listen to a woman. Just because I'm not male-centered doesn't mean I think all women are great, right? And the thing about learning that is I've only recently understood that. Like that has been my journey of understanding what decentering men really means is understanding that I was male-centered because I thought that the fact that I didn't care what men think made me not center men. What I realized recently is that I'm a pick me, not because I don't care, not because I be wanting men to pick me, like pick me, yay, like I got chose, woo-hoo-hoo, because I've never been that type of person. I literally just, I don't know, maybe it's a chromosome I'm missing, but I just can't do it. Like I can't do it. My body would reject me. My soul would start to leave. Like I wouldn't be able to function in my body if I acted like that. Like I'm too like, I don't know. I guess I have too much shame. It's shameful. Wow, I can't do it, bro. And I don't give a fuck what is being offered or what is being seen as the prize or da-da-da-da. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to it. Okay? I think it's because I've also like been around too many women who are better off without the men that they had in their lives and doing more and better than those men in a way where I'm just like, these niggas is useless. You know what I'm trying to say? If you see too many women, like gangster women in your family who are able to do too much without these niggas, like you literally can't do it. Like you can't function thinking that they're the answer because you understand that they literally hold you back, you know? So I think that also maybe has a part to do with it. But what I realized recently is I'm a pick me not because of that version of being a pick me that we are constantly talking about of like, oh yeah, these pick me's. I'm a pick me because I have always centered people other than myself, mainly women, and those women are pick me's in the natural way we think of a pick me. So it's like a woman is naturally a pick me in like in the traditional sense of what we think a pick me is. I will still have grace for her and want her to like be better and have more and like center her and try to tell her, no, like you can do it. Stand up. Stand up. Remember that video of the lady saying, stand up. Yeah, stand up. Like that's me. I'm always in the back yelling, stand up. But what I realized recently is you can be a pick me by proxy. Okay? If you are around other pick-me's and majority of your friends and family and people you interact with are pick-me's and you center them and you take time to like be in their proximity and help them and whatever, you are in proxy a pick-me even if it's not for male validation. You can be a pick-me and be looking for female validation. But if those females who you are looking to validate you are pick-me's, you are a pick-me too. Because the things that they're going to be able to like about you in order to give you that validation you're looking for is going to be pick me mindset things. It's going to be male centered mindset things. It's going to be based off things that they think, whether or not they think that you would be picked. See, so they're only ever going to validate you based off what they think about you is pickable. So if you care what other women think, but you couldn't give a flying fuck about these niggas, you're still in proxy a pick me. And that's one thing I had to realize about myself, that, oh my God, I'm a pick me because I like other pick me's. Because I'm friends and like in proximity to pick me's, I'm also a pick me, even though I don't give a fuck about these niggas. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And once I broke that down about myself, it was like my brain, like, it was like it like deconstructed of like every part of me of like, dun, 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 dun. So this is why I want to say that you got to be careful with the whole decentering men epidemic of like thinking you are naturally male decentered because you focus on what the women are doing and you're in more women cultivated spaces and you're in more like female dominated conversations and community based living, because you will make community with pick-me's and that will be your downfall. Because one thing a pick-me gonna do is center a man. You know what I'm trying to say? Is think that a man knows the answer. Is leave you in the dust for man. So it's like you have to be careful with thinking that you beat the patriarchy because you're just that person who could beat the patriarchy. Just cause like whatever you think, whatever stage you are in your decentering men journey, just understand that until we defeat the whole system, you'll never actually be off of it. You can only ever just like increase your knowledge of what is keeping you in it, of what things that you are more likely and prone to doing. And what I realized recently about me is I'm prone to caring what a pick-me thinks about me. I'm prone to doing things based off what pick-me's care about, you know, because I was thinking in the past that I'm decentering men because I don't care what men think. I want the woman to like kind of, you know, communicate with me and be the like part of my group and stuff like that. But what I wasn't realizing is that because we're in a patriarchy, those same women that I'm trying to build community with are stuck in a patriarchally minded way that no matter what I do, if I'm seeking their validation as well, I'm still centering men because I'm centering the minds of people who's male centered. So therefore, I'm also centering men, but in a longer form. All I did was long division instead of using a calculator, you know? Like, whereas like a pick-me who's directly male-centered is just using a calculator and doing quick maths, I was doing long division and doing all my mathematics with my hand. But I'm still doing math. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like I'm still playing the same game, but to me, it's even worse the type of pick me that I am. Because it's like you're playing the game without even knowing you're playing the game, whereas at least these pick me's understand exactly what they're up to. They know why they're doing the things they're doing. They know that they care what a nigga thinks. They know that they want this person versus that person. Me, I'm over here thinking that I'm not even in the game, but no matter what I am in the game, I'm just losing worse than them because they're losing too. That's the thing you always want to understand about this game that we all play is no matter what, especially if you're a woman, more than men lose too. But the thing is, if you're a woman, you are getting dogged. You're losing every single time, no matter what. As soon as you end this game, you're losing. So it's like they're losing, but I'm just losing longer. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm losing for a longer amount of time than they are, but they're just seeing their losses at a quicker rate because the men are right in front of them. Whereas I'm like, nah, nigga, no, leave me. I can't. Running for my life. But I'm running towards people who are running towards them. So, okay, so like, let's say there's a bomb, right? A bomb goes off, right? And you see everybody scrambling. You see everybody running. You're like, oh, fuck, no, I'm not getting this bomb. So you start running, right? You start following the crowd who you think is running away from the bomb. But there's another bomb and they're running towards the second bomb and you're following them. So maybe they're going to go to the center of the bomb and die, but you're going to die from the aftermath of the bomb. Okay? Like either way, you're dying in this explosion. So it's like recently, let me calm down. I need to calm down. I need to calm the fuck down. But it's like realizing these things is very jarring. You know, understanding that women are your greatest enemies as much as men because they're stuck in a place that men created and they're playing in proxy for the men is very jarring, okay? Understanding that this is a game that you have no choice but to play and you don't get to just opt out. You don't get to just be like, well, I'm not fucking with this. I don't want to play. You don't get to just do that is very jarring too. Like understanding that like no matter what, you're always playing the game and you got to also play it with the woman as much as you play it with the men is like, okay. And I feel like it's a dangerous thing that we're starting to get into the decentering men epidemic. And like people might not get that point. That you might also be playing the game and not even knowing that you're playing it. And like decentering men is gonna involve decentering most women. You're gonna have to, most women who are, I would say 80 to 95%, no, I'm not even, 80 is way too much. 95% of women around you, you're going to have to decenter them too. Decentering men is not a gender-based topic, okay? That's what is like, the slow people are going to be tricked into thinking. They're going to be thinking that it's just the men that they have to get rid of from their mind. And for some women, that really is going to be the main majority of it. Like they never liked women anyway because they were male-centered. So it's going to be like, you know, it's going to be a struggle for them to even like the women that are not male-centered. But like, so they might not even need that. But at least for them, the game is kind of clear. But for the women who think that they've decentered men because they've never gave a fuck what a man thinks, they're going to be stuck in a tricky way where they're hearing these words, they're hearing these ideologies, and they're not even understanding that this includes majority of women. Majority of women around you are male-centered, and you need to leave them in the dust as well. I'm going to continue talking about this topic, but for now, let's just leave it here. Make sure you guys are doing all the YouTube stuff, liking, commenting, subscribing. Just let YouTube know that we're active in here. All right, y'all.
I wanted me, 'cause I love you.
welcome
Too
to
much, never tryna live like I'm supposed to.
Outside.
I did all this shit.
Much media.